Today, we are talking about why you suck at The Sims 4 and how I can fix that for you. So when you're gardening in The Sims 4, I know you're really tempted to do this and just get loads of these, or you're tempted to just do it in the ground outside, or you want to build yourself a really nice flashy greenhouse. And I know it may be pretty to have a greenhouse like this, but there is a much better way of doing it. So most of you guys own seasons, and the problem with seasons is that it makes your vegetables and fruits and herbs, anything you grow basically, is seasonal crop, meaning that it won't grow all throughout the year. So you have to put it inside. But these little plant pots are not always the most efficient way. When you're starting with an empty greenhouse, what you actually need to do is delete the floor. Now, if you press it and you delete like me, the whole thing deletes. So you gotta click on it again, remove floor. If I get some different seeds from build mode to show you, you can see in the inventory they're all different kind of seasons. Mushrooms are fall and spring. So if I put one outside and try to plant it, we can, but it says out of season, meaning it won't grow. If I put it in the ground now, inside of our greenhouse, you can see that we can water it normally and it actually functions. By removing the floor in your greenhouse, you get to really efficiently place plants. Now, let's say you're doing rags to riches. Create a room where you want your gardening plot to be. Create a roof where you want your gardening plot to be. Now I want you to remove all of the walls, remove the floor, and now all we're left with is a roof. Put your mushroom under the roof. Is it under the roof? Yes, it is. Plant the mushroom. And look, it doesn't say out of season. It can function perfectly fine. Even though mushrooms aren't supposed to grow in summer, because it has a roof on top of it, it will grow. All you need for a greenhouse, guys, is a roof. That's it. It's insane. And of course, a much more efficient way to farm if you own seasons. It still surprises me how many people don't know you can actually change your Sims aspiration in life. Right now, Nancy Landgrab wants to be fabulously wealthy, but she already is fabulously wealthy, so we could choose a new one, like being a super parent, for example. You might have already known that you can actually change your Sims life aspiration, but what you should never do, what I always see people do, is you choose the aspiration you want based on what the aspiration is, rather than based on the trait it gives you. Let me explain. This is my Sim, Piney Tinus, and we've been playing with him for a let's play on my channel. He's a nerd sim, and our goal in the let's play was to give him a glow up and to make him less of a loser, more of like a popular jock. So in create a sim mode, you can see I've given him the computer whiz or knowledge aspiration, which has given him the bonus trait quick learner. And you'll see all of these have a certain bonus trait. So this is what you do when you're making your sim. You choose the aspiration based on the bonus trait you want. In my case, I want to be a quick learner. So then when we go into live mode, I'll go to change the aspiration to what I wanted it to be in the original let's play, which was finding a soulmate, but we still got to keep the quick learner trait. I see nobody picking their aspiration based on the reward trait. Most people either don't know the reward trait exists or just ignore it. So please take care next time when choosing one. The last thing you want to do when you start up The Sims is to immediately go into settings, but you have to in The Sims 4. There is a very, very important reason why. If you go into game options, okay, go under gameplay, scroll to the bottom and make sure neighborhood stories is not ticked and apply. If you do have neighborhood stories, things will happen in your game that you can see here. So townies in the world will die of accidents, adopt children, rescue horses, adopt cats and dogs. These all sound like nice things that sound like a natural progression in your world. Unfortunately, the reality of it is it's very unnatural. I personally always noticed that the Goth household rescue a horse, which makes no sense because they don't have room for a horse. Sims will randomly move in with other Sims and random Sims will die, and you'll have weird situations like you'll have a toddler living alone in a house or like a dog living alone in a house. It's a very, very buggy thing and it basically ruins your game. And as far as I'm aware, it is on by default. So make sure you turn it off. Again, disable neighborhood stories here. Then you go into game options, gameplay, scroll down and then disable it here. Seeming we are already in options, we may as well continue looking at them. Under gameplay options, yours might look different to mine because I've got all the packs, but what I would like you to do is find auto age played household, auto age unplayed households, and then lifespan. So lifespan is an obvious one. If we make it short, you'll see my sim ages up in 14 days. If we now change it to normal, you can see she ages up in 28 days. And then if we completely change it to long, you can see it's a whole 111 days. Unfortunately, The Sims 4 doesn't have the customization that you had in The Sims 3 where you can totally personalize your lifespan. Sims 4 could never. But we do have these 3 options which do, I think, make a big difference depending on how you play. Another thing I always do is turn off aging for other households so that other Sims in your world won't randomly age up constantly. I also like to turn off aging in my active household or played households. And the reason why, guys, is because playing rotationally I think is the most fun way. That's where you play with one household at a time and you basically micromanage everything down to when the birthdays are of every single sim in your world. If you want me to do another video on how to play The Sims 4 rotationally, let me know and I will let you know exactly how to do that. But fundamentally, it's the best way, I think, to turn off aging off completely and to just age up Sims as you go along and micromanage the whole situation so you don't have any nasty surprises. On the subject of avoiding nasty surprises, that is definitely not my douche right there. Definitely not my douche. I just know you boring bitches. Every single time you start a new household, you make your sim an author. Yes, you do. You make them a self-employed author. I think you're boring. I think you're stale. You probably have vanilla missionary sex. You're probably a pillow princess. This is true. I'm about to spice it all up for you guys, and we're gonna focus on base game only. So when you choose a career, ignore the ones that are not base game, guys, but go to freelance career. Okay. Again, ignoring paranormal investigator, ignoring fashion photographer, ignoring simply crafted. Okay. Now, ironically, we do actually have freelance writer as a career, but we also have a freelance artist and a freelance programmer. We're a freelance programmer, and this works based on a gig system. So when I click check for gigs, you can see we have different jobs depending on our skill that we can do. And it actually has some work tasks that you need to do as well. And this is a PC-based job as a programmer. So you can click freelancer, chat with client, create file, and do the job tasks. I think the freelance artist is probably the most fun one in my opinion, but the 3 base game ones, the freelance author, artist, and programmer, are pretty cool. And the freelance author career is much better than just writing books yourself, by the way. Next up, we have style influencer. So the cool thing about a style influencer career is that you actually have work tasks. So you can see here, work from home assignment, interview Sims. This is one of those careers where it is a rabbit hole career and not a live career, but it feels like a live career. It's like a semi-active career, if that makes sense. And another thing, which I think is just fantastic. On the gallery, search for Sims sessions and have a look around basically and try to find like this sales table. Is it gonna ruin my build if I place it? Top tip, guys, when you're placing a room, you can place it in a basement. Anyway, here's the table that I brought up here. We can delete that basement now. So this is a base game sales table where you can sell clutter objects. And what I mean by clutter objects is objects that you can drag in and out of your Sims inventory. So a good example is food. So I am going to cook grilled cheese, a party size serving. Next, I'm gonna pick up a serving. My sim wants to obey. And I'm gonna pick up multiple servings so that, as you can see in the inventory, they're all separate. And then I've dragged all of the servings into the table. Click view inventory. You can see, oh, we've got them all in there plus an empty plate. Anyway, we click on stock table. And then as you can see, all of the grilled cheeses that we put in there are now on it. Now we click 10 table and now we click start yard sale. Now, what will happen now is Sims will randomly come to your lot, as you can see, and they will actually buy the grilled cheese. This doesn't have to be grilled cheese. It can be any object that you can drag in and out of your inventory, which is pretty cool. And Sims will come up and buy things and you can mark prices up and down. So guys, this is a really fantastic way of having your own home business in The Sims 4 without having the businesses and hobbies pack, without having get to work retail system. This is just a fantastic way you can see here of actually being able to make money by actually just selling things, and you can sell crystals, gems, you can sell basically anything that you can scavenge and find, any food that you make, anything basically you can put in your inventory. There are many other things you could do other than becoming an author. These are just some random ones that I've shown you, but there are more depending on which packs you own, so stop being boring. The biggest mistake I see every single simmer make is trying to do everything themselves, because this is what you do. You start a new game, you spend 3 hours in creative sim mode, you spend 3 hours building a house, and when it gets to gameplay, you're bloody exhausted. It's too much. You guys need to be okay with using stuff from the gallery, and I'm not just talking about Sims, I'm also talking about houses. Now, I actually have something really special for you guys who feel like you have to do everything and you get a little bit overwhelmed, and you don't want to just take something that somebody else has done, but at the same time it's too much effort making everything yourself. Then I have the perfect base game solution, and that is my SatchOnSims save file, which anybody can download whether you're a PC or console player. In all 3 base game worlds, Willow Creek, Oasis Springs and Newcrest, I have created lots and sims for the lots, and all of these sims and lots are partially created. So let's go to Bargain Bend. As a hashtag on the gallery, type in the lot name, Bargain Bend Satch, all one word. So you can see a lot here, and you can place the lot onto Bargain Bend. Also, you can see that I have made a household. Using the free real estate on cheat, I can allow them to afford the lot, move them in, and then poof. Same with Streamlit Single, Streamlit Single Satch as a hashtag. Find me, okay, Streamlit Single, and then it will install my renovated build. And then you can see the sim that I made, and you can put him in the build too. And when you go into the build in live mode, you will see that the build from the outside is mostly completed, but the inside is not complete. So this is what I mean when I say I have, for every single, by the way, base game lot, I have a partially finished house and a partially complete sim. And when I say partially complete sim, I mean that I basically made them and I've given them all tailored outfits which suit them, making sure that none of the sims, by the way, have the eyeball ring. I was very meticulous. I also remembered to give all of my sims socks. Same in Oasis Springs. Let's go to Arid Ridge. You can see I made a house and I also made some sims for this lot too. As you can see, this one is basically completed from the outside apart from some decorations, and then on the inside I've added wallpaper and stuff, and I've added rooms. You've just obviously got to furnish them. So my save file is a fantastic way if you want to do it yourself, but also make it significantly easier. I'm basically pushing you along. I'm basically like armbands when you're swimming. I'm basically like a penis extender. I'm basically like a push-up bra. I'm just getting you half of the way there, guys. You're welcome. A lot of people fall into a cost fallacy with The Sims 4 where they feel like packs are going to make the game better, because it gets to a point when you're playing when you're like, okay, I'm a little bit bored now. What do I do? Like, one of the most popular video concepts on Sims YouTube is what to do when you're bored of The Sims 4, how to make The Sims 4 more exciting, because people are desperately looking to make the game more fun, because it's unfortunately inherently not that fun, The Sims 4. Well, the perfect solution is to get mods, not packs. And before you tell me you're a console player, okay, The Sims 4 is free on PC. Even if you've bought a few packs on console and you don't want to rebuy them on PC, download The Sims 4 for free on your laptop, okay? Like, it's 2025, why don't you own a laptop or a PC, guys, okay? Download it on your laptop or computer for free. Download mods for free. And I promise you, they will make your game so much better. And there are so many mods that add drama and life to your Sims. All you have to do is give it a Google or give it a YouTube search, best gameplay mods for The Sims 4 ever, and you will see so many incredible ones. And not just the adult sex mods like I know you're thinking about. There's ones that add consequences like Sims autonomously divorcing or cheating on you, or mood lit changes to make moods a little bit more dynamic, adding brand new romance features or friendship features, or adding gameplay for kids, adding new careers. There is so much that mods do that The Sims 4 doesn't do with packs, because what they do with a pack is they'll give you a tiny little bit of gameplay, but they'll normally implement it in a way that's annoying, and then the pack will just be bloated with a big world and create sim stuff and build stuff in order to justify the price. I think Lovestruck is a great example of this. If you actually look at the gameplay for Lovestruck, it just adds the ability ability to go on dates, which we could already do in the base game, by the way, but let's actually make dating a lot more annoying, because there are now all these different types of relationship dynamics, romance systems, which just actually make trying to find a match harder in game. It doesn't make it feel more fun or exciting. It just kind of makes it more annoying. And this is where mods come in, for example, like Wicked Whims, Wonderful Whims, or even the online dating mod. There's so many different ones. So please, please, please don't get packs just because you think they're going to make your game better, because they won't. You need to get mods. These are what are going to make your game better. And I'm going to put some videos around me here showing off some of my favorite gameplay mods that I think you will really, really love for The Sims 4. If you found this video useful, hit like. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.